Hi, everyone. That's Guido Pollini, and I'm a founder and of a digital agency based in London called GA Agency. It's a boutique digital agency that mainly work with fashion clients. I launched the agency a couple of years ago, and I have around 13 years experience in digital marketing. I've been working for Google and Expedia for the first 5 years of my career here in London from 2008 to 2013. And I was in charge of SEO channel for these two companies. And then in 2013, I started to work on myself, and I started to work as a consultant, self-employed for 5 years. And then I started to work with my first fashion client. And I started to work with clients like Prada, like Miu Miu, like Calzedonia, Intimissimi, Giuseppe Zanotti, different clients. And over the last 2 years, when I turned the business from consulting to an agency, we keep working with them and we increase the number of services. Now at the moment, we have around 8 fashion clients in the agency. And we provide them different services in terms of digital marketing, from search engine marketing to social media to influencer, copywriting, and so on. Are there any specific question, or should I go through that? So one of the things I've been asked to talk about are the pros and cons of having a digital business, which difficulties are there. So of course, nowadays it's really important to have a fashion business that is an online presence, but it's getting more and more complicated to do it properly, like in terms of is it getting a much more competitive market and require like kind of well-planned structure and big investment behind. So absolutely there are big benefits in getting into the digital for a fashion company, but I wouldn't start directly from there. I would start it first from our sales and distribution, and then I would turn into digital. So which kind of advice are possible to give to someone creating a business in digital format? You need to like evaluate many different aspects. Like it's not only about marketing. You need to take in consideration like all the parts related to creativity. Sorry, I got a question. My question is, how do I choose my client? And do you have like any choosing system? Because there are a lot of different companies among your clients, and I was just interested, why exactly did you choose them? Well, it's more the client approaching us, and we evaluate if we can deliver a result for them, and if we see that it's something feasible, based on different criteria. That probably the most important one is the budget that they have, and also like the in-house capabilities that they have to like deliver. So basically, the client approaches, and with our team, like we look at them requirements, and we put together a proposal. And then if the client satisfies the proposal, we go ahead and work together. So it's more the client approaching us and choosing us than the client, us choosing the client. Why do you think clients want to work with us? That's a good question. It's pretty difficult nowadays for a digital agency to differentiate. Like there are the competition, there are more and more competition, and the industry is getting more structured, and so you need to find a way to differentiate yourself. So for sure, like having expertise in a specific vertical, it's really helpful. So in our agency, we have pretty good knowledge about fashion and travel, so that helps in getting more clients in that sector. Another thing that help us to get more clients is that we have a pretty an international team that is able to cover like different languages and work on different markets, like for example, all Europe, US, and Russia. Yeah, so I'm mainly would say expertise and finding and then able to work in different markets. What are the pros and cons of working with big clients? That's a good question again. So pros is that first, most of the time you work with capable people internally that understand your language, and it's much easier to execute a project. And another pros of working with big clients is that in general, their brand is pretty well known, okay? So, and it's super important in marketing, because if you start to work with a brand that it doesn't have brand awareness, building brand awareness is probably the most complicated thing, the longest process and the complicated one. So working with them client that already have a well-known brand, let's say that it's easier to bring result. One of the cons of working with big clients that, of course, they are demanding. So they maybe have pretty high target and goals that sometimes are not easy to reach, and also like sometimes they have longer internal process to execute tasks. So we are an agency, we like consult them and we give them advice, but sometimes some big company take much longer than smaller company to implement our recommendation, because they have much more people involved and the process is much longer. So that's probably all the pros and cons of working with big client, and the same question for small client. Small clients, a big problem most of the time is budget. So if you don't have budget, it's difficult to deliver an optimal campaign, especially from my agency side. You need to have resources and people involved in the project in order to do a good job. And if the client doesn't have the money to afford these resources, it's really difficult to deliver, okay? So small client, one problem is budget. Another one connected to before, the brand awareness. If the brand is not well known and the average order value is a bit expensive, let's say above 100 euro, 100 pound, and you don't have a brand, it's really difficult to bring result. So before you have to build a brand, and then you talk to performance marketing, you can bring conversion. A good thing with working with small client is that it's much easier to deliver project and execute and get things done. Which one I prefer? Let's say I prefer cool startup if I'm small, and big clients. Yeah. Sometimes the problem with small client that again they don't have budget, but also they are demanding, and then it became really difficult to work well together. There are any celebrity that were your clients? Can you tell us? We didn't have like exactly celebrity as a client, no. We don't manage Instagram profile on our agency. Like we do more paid social advertising on Instagram and Facebook. Therefore, we don't manage profiles, so we don't work directly with celebrity. We work mainly with big brand. What do I like most about my job? I'd say there are two parts. One, I like a lot working with my team, motivating my team, giving them goals to grow together, and seeing them excited about what we are doing. Also, I love to build a brand together, and see like people are recognizing our brand and are are talking about us, and also like that is the second part is like to bring a result to our clients. That of course for an agency is super important, and it's what gives you excitement. The problem comes when you don't deliver a result and the client is not happy. So there you need to understand what's not happening right, what's not going right, and try to fix it. Yeah, someone is commenting about going to my website. There are a strange variety of clients from product to a cold wall to companies in different business. Yeah, again, we're not really picky about clients. Like it's more like when a potential client contacted us, it's like more like evaluating if we are able to deliver, to bring result or not. If we see that something is not possible because of different reasons, could be for budget, could be for not enough resources internally in the team of the client, or like the product that we don't think is like good enough. So in that case, we prefer to not work because we want to be able to deliver what the client is expecting. But for the rest, if we see opportunity, we tend to work with different clients, like in different sector. We have clients also in real estate, we have clients in cosmetics, we have clients in design and furniture. So it's really varied. Of course, like the majority are in fashion and travel because also are the biggest spender in digital marketing. So like I think the fashion and travel, if you take the whole company together, is basically 70% of the overall digital marketing spend worldwide. So that's pretty natural. Another question I got is like 3 things that you have to know before opening a digital agency. That's interesting. First, now you have to know that there's also competition. So it's very important to understand how you should position yourself and how you can differentiate from the competition. That's the first step I would take. The second one, you need to be good in PR in order to get clients on board. Most of the client we got to our business come through word of mouth. So like people recommending us or people that know me, have worked with me in the past. So to have a successful digital agency, like the part of having good client is really important. So you have to be able to get those on board and then to execute. So you need to also to knowing very well the operational part. So I think you need to have experience on your own about the operational part, and then in the future you can delegate it. So I think there's 2 things, like being able to know what are your unique selling points, so position yourself, and being good in PR and being good in operational things. Can you share some life hacks on how to get to notice your company, to get people to notice my company? That's interesting. So at the beginning was more like when I had a chance to networking, also with friends or like with ex-colleagues, I was talking about what I was doing and like consulting for digital and what I was good at and which kind of client I was working with and which kind of result I was bringing to them. So like every chance I had to do some networking, I was doing it. And that really helped in the beginning for the business to kick off and start. Right now, something work well for us is like doing content marketing to our blog. So we write quite a lot of content that help us to get traffic to our website and potential new lead to our business. Also, this content we use other platforms to share it, like LinkedIn or so on, and that's helpful in our case. And then we try also other way, like doing SEO for our content, and sometimes also like some PR campaign. So working with external publisher to write content about us or interview with myself, and that has been beneficial for us to get new business. Let me see the next question. So 5 important steps for a fashion brand to work in digital if you don't have a supporting digital agency. Okay. So my first advice for a fashion brand is like give product away to influencer. That's easy and it's still working, and it's still effective, and probably is the best marketing tool at the moment for new emerging fashion companies that don't have much budget for marketing. So yeah, use your product for my select the influencers that you think are more appropriate for your product. They have the right user base, and contact them and ask if they're interested in promoting your product, and yeah, ship it to them and get some visibility. Likely this will bring to other content generated from people that see the product. Something else could be useful, like, yeah, it's also look inside of content of potential publisher. The PR part for new fashion brand is really important. So having the right publisher to talk about your brand, it's important to get a wholesaler or also like a potential buyer online to know your brand. So those two, and then having a nice, simple website. I wouldn't spend too much money in the website if there is not much budget. I would do something simple with Squarespace or Shopify, just to test the water. And I wouldn't spend much on trying to acquire a client to paid social ads or Google ads at the beginning, because if you don't have a brand, if you don't have a nicely known brand, likely you're not going to convert this traffic. So before I would start to build a brand to wholesaler, and then to influencer activities, and to PR. And then when your brand starts to get better known, you can try to do some performance marketing in Google or social media and so on. Okay, I'm looking at the next question. So someone asking about our work with a cold wall. It's been a great project. It's a cold wall is fashion brand from UK that the designer is called Samuel Ross, and is one of the most talented young designer, upcoming designer. And we have been working with them for 1 year now, and we work mainly on paid social media and Google campaign. It's been an interesting experience. The brand is pretty well known, although it's young, because I think it's a 3-4 years old brand, but he has like something like 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it's doing well. They're doing well, especially with the capsule collection, the collaboration they do with other brands. And we're supporting them in promoting this kind of collection, this capsule collection mainly. Again, to the channel that I mentioned before, so social like Facebook or Instagram or Google mainly. Let's look at the next question. Would you change anything in your career if you had a chance? That's a good question. I never asked myself. No, to be honest, I'm pretty happy with my path and where I am now. And yeah, I don't have anything specific I would like to change. I like what I'm doing. I wake up in the morning I'm excited about what I'm doing, and yeah, that's I think the most important part. Let's see if the other question I'm looking through. One of the questions I got is like, how did the pandemic affect digital businesses? So of course, the pandemic has been beneficial for digital businesses because it bring many more customers to buy online. Also, customers that before they were not used to purchase online, they find themselves like kind of like they had to buy online because they didn't have any other option. Okay, because retail were closed. Therefore, like the number that we're seeing this year on our client for e-commerce has been great. In almost like the growth compared with the previous year are huge. So digital business, of course, like got come out as a winner from this pandemic. But the one that got most out of it are the one that were prepared for that. So not were already. I've been already investing in online over the last few years. I've been like believing in the channel, and when this pandemic happened and the traffic increased and the conversion increased, the number of orders increased, they were able to deliver. Okay, while some other businesses maybe believe less in the online before and invested less. When this phenomenon happened, they had a problem. Like company that had a really based much on retail, and they were not doing any kind of omni-channel activities, are the ones that suffer more from this crisis. So yeah, and we are seeing the same trend during this winter, like the growth of the online and digital is enormous, and it will continue next year for sure. Another question I got is, please tell me some example of your most successful campaign. Pretty difficult to say, and also I cannot maybe share too much details about our client campaign. So I prefer another question, please. One question I got is like, do you have any prediction on what the future is like for brand owners? Brand owners will have to use more and more like online wholesaler, because what I'm saying is that it will be difficult for us more medium-sized brand to compete with big online wholesaler like perhaps Net-a-Porter, Mr. Porter, or like Yux, Amazon, and so on, because the kind of service they are able to deliver will be pretty difficult to match from small and medium-sized brands, okay, through their website, because the kind of customer care logistic that the big wholesaler offer now and offer in future will be very difficult to match from a small medium-sized brand. Therefore, like the strategy should be focused on try to get agreement with this online wholesaler, and maybe try to don't invest too much money for direct marketing to the website, but trying using the money to invest in other digital marketing activity, like, as I said before, it could be PR influencer rather than bringing direct traffic to the website, because likely he won't convert as well as the big wholesaler convert, because the big wholesaler, again, offer like a much faster shipping time. They offer like they have much easier policy about return, and they have much better usability on the website, and they have much more variation of product. So yeah, I will focus more on working with big wholesaler. Next question. How do you think the digital world spheres that you and your agency are working with will change after the pandemic? Okay. How do you think that the digital world that me and my agency are working on will change after the pandemic? That's interesting. I think there will be, like a lot of industry, like people will get more and more used to manage a project remotely. So there will be much less need of face-to-face meeting. There will be much more demand from client. So the investment in digital marketing in the coming 5 to 10 years will grow drastically. Therefore, there will be more competition, but also like more opportunities. So yeah, it's going to be interesting year ahead for digital marketing and digital businesses. The next question. I'm a designer and a brand that got particularly zero income since the pandemic. Although my instant page has totally improved, still not so much clothes is being sold. Where am I wrong? Does actually this story with bigger social media, bigger money works? It's difficult to say where you're wrong, like without seeing the product and without knowing much about the brand. Depends also what's your average price. Like, and again, you should probably try to use other channels as well, not just Instagram. Try to use, try to work in PR, like if you know someone is a journalist and work for certain publisher that are related to your business, try to get in contact and try to see if you can get an article right about your product. That for sure is another channel that you can activate and can improve your conversion and revenue. Another question I got is how to be able to adjust to current situation, like with the pandemic. Are there any hacks for a business in this area? That's not entirely clear. How to be able to adjust to current situation, like for your business or for the business? I think in general for your business, like to adjust to the situation, of course, like the key is like going digital as much as possible. Of course, there are some certain business that is more complicated to do, but for sure we'll see a trend also after the pandemic is over that I think will happen around spring, summer next year. The digital channel will still growing, and retail will suffer more and more, and people will get more and more used to buy online. What can keep me motivated in my business? That's a good question. I would say result, like bringing result to my customer. My team, lately I get much amount of motivation from my team, seeing them inspired and excited about work. That's something really motivate me. And then, of course, there is the revenue part that is important. And also like building a brand, that's something rewarding, like building something that people recognize and that has some value, and seeing how over the years this has been changing and has been growing. That's something for sure that gives me motivation, and also try to innovate. That's another thing that really motivate us. Try to find something new to offer to our client that add value to them business. And that's a tough part, but it's something that I think, especially working in digital, it's really important, like understanding what's the next trend, what's happening next. Like perhaps now we started to work more with new platform like a Snapchat or TikTok, and that's it's something that it's interesting for us. We are learning something new. At the same time, it's interesting for our clients because it's a new platform with a different targeting, and they appreciate that we can offer this service. Okay, like next year, we're going to offer a service based on improving conversion to our client called conversion optimization. So basically, trying to understand which kind of tweaks we can do to the UX in order to have the traffic to the website. So I got another question. I have traffic to the website, to people going to the website to buy more. Last question I got, I think this is the last one. We are running out of time. So two questions. One, how do I choose my teammates? So my team, that's super important when you're scaling a business, like being able to choose right your team, and being able to put together a solid interview process is fundamental, starting from writing a proper job spec that correctly describe the job. And then what we started to do with my team is like, the first interview is me after we review the CV, and half an hour with a person to understand if it could be a good fit. And then we ask to do a task, and a task that is not an easy one. Task that could take 4 or 5 hours, but there you can understand like the level of knowledge of a person, and also like the commit they have to get the job. And then we review the task, and if the task is good, it's going to have other 2 to interview with some of my colleagues, and then we decide if it's been employed or not. What I really suggest is like to hire slow and fire fast. Do you have a favorite quote about my business or life creator maybe? No, quote about my business, I don't have it. Life creator, I believe in, it's important to give yourself like goals of what you want to achieve. And I try to give myself some clear goal every year about where I want to go that year. It can be goals on different aspects, not just for business, social life, or like personal development and so on. I think it's the last question, this one. What do you think about TikTok, and what social network should be independent brand build the company? I think the way you choose your social network, I think, depends a lot from who is your buyer persona. Okay, so if you're targeting like young people, I would suggest to look into TikTok and Snapchat. Okay, those are kind of good platforms that tend to work well for younger people. That they have more, they are more used from younger people. While if like your business is more like a corporate or B2B, for sure invest on LinkedIn. So I think like having the clear idea of which is your target and your buyer persona, then will make you understand which social media you should focus on. And unless you have unlimited resources, I would suggest to focus on just one or two social media. Like perhaps we as an agency, we are just on LinkedIn. We are not on Instagram or Facebook. We don't see much value on being there, and we don't want to invest our resources in spending time in that. Okay. Yeah, I think we're running out of time. I want to thank you all. If you have any other question, feel free to send me an email, add me on LinkedIn, and write me, and I'm happy to give you more information. Thank you so much, and have a good day.